Well, the first place we've come to look today is the lower Darling River at Wentworth, the junction at Wentworth. There's about 800 meg coming down the lower Darling, which is pumping a little bit of fresh water into the Murray, and we're thinking the fish are going to be following this fresh water up to try and get out of the Blackwater, and we haven't had to come very far to find this big fella. He's obviously been here a while. I'd say that's probably an 80-90 pound cod, and as you can see, even a bit of fresh water hasn't helped him. Damage has been done in the main body of the river, and he's come up here, like I said, looking for sanctuary, but as you can see, that's the end result. Now we're going to make our way up the river further. I'd imagine the further we go, the more we're going to find. Gone. One of the river's breeders, gone. The fresh water that's coming out of Lake Victoria at the moment through the regulator here has given sanctuary to probably a reasonable population of large Murray cod here. The problem we have is that over half the water in Lake Victoria is now black. Sooner or later that black water will inundate the lake, probably kill most of the fish in the lake. Once the black water comes into here where the fish have found a respite, it'll get them as well. Righto, we've just put the boat in the regulator. We haven't even started it. We're in the freshest part of the water that's coming up. Oh, it's actually coming out of Lake Victoria. And have a look at this. Have a look at this. There's two giant cod there. Two giant cod there. This is the fresh water. This is what they're travelling up out of the main Murray River to get. It's drawing them up the river out of the toxic water. Like I said, we've come 10 feet. There's two giant cod there. There's a great big piebary down here, which is a smaller fish, which I would expect probably not to die. It's generally the bigger fish that die. There's two more giant ones just there. We'll just poke around here. There's two there. There's another 2 or 3 ginormous cod around the corner here. And if you turn around and just keep panning around the bank, there's another one here. There's another giant one there. And keep going around. There's another giant one there. And as far as I can see, I'm seeing giant fish right down around this whole corner. This is absolutely disgraceful. We wouldn't have travelled 100 yards and I've already seen about 14 or 15 giant cod. There's 7 just here, just in this one little area here, stuck in behind the weed. These are all 30, 40, 50 pound fish. You know, this is a natural event. Is it really a natural event? How often does this happen? I've spent most of my life fishing this river. I've seen numerous floods. Every single time I see a flood, I see the river boom. I see people catching millions of yabbies. It's just, the whole river comes alive. There are no yabbies being caught. There are fish dying everywhere, and it's just not right. Rightio, we've had a good look around the rivers this afternoon. We started on the Lower Darling to see where the Blackwater had gone up, and we think that the cod have followed that clean water that's coming down the Darling into the Blackwater upstream. We found 20 or more giant cod in an hour or so, all of them dead of course. We've then left there, come a few hundred k's downstream to the Rufus River, where it's just, as you can see in the background here, it's just unbelievable. There's dead cod everywhere. I've counted nearly 200 cod in a little bit over an hour. Most of them are metre 10, metre 20 fish. Just terrible sight, absolutely disgraceful. And this is fish coming from, I do believe, coming from the main Murray River up the Rufus, chasing the clear water or the clean water, oxygenated water that's coming out of Lake Victoria. So we've also seen at the Wentworth Weir fistfuls of shrimp and small yabbies trying to get out of the water. Now ask yourself this, in all the floods that you've ever seen, have you ever seen this before? I've now seen it twice. First time was 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 2010. The Blackwater made it to Wentworth. It was shandied out by the flooding Darling River, and that saved the fish below, the big cod below. We have not caught hardly a yabby above, say, Weeman, any of that area, and small cod, no big fish there for the last 5 or 6 years. They're all gone. Now, it looked like things were going to be good with the flood coming, and it's all but done. So I would just like a few answers on why, in all the time we've had floods along the Murray-Darling Basin, we have localised fish kills from Blackwater, but not hundreds, if not thousands of kilometres. Something has changed in the last 6 years. Something has changed in the last 6 years, and I think you'll find it's got a little bit to do with environmental flows into the bush, and I would like some answers. I think we would all like some answers, and most of all, for my kids in the future, I want them to be able to catch these fish that, if you just look there, they're never going to catch these now. It's all but done.